Hello.
Kamba njani?
Hayi senqe.
Siyaphila la. Namhla sebanenhlanhla. Namhla silanza umzulu bhaqa. Yabo umlima nginje sihlezi ngenta into tendeke. Ngibonga uTsemba. Nakunya ngimlanzela umbhalo uqhamuke KZN. Endas. Ngeke nginende lutho. Ngililanzelela abanyenti kakhulu. Mr. Asasesikhathi kuvusela sikomukele ehlelweni.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu bafo. Ngibonga ukubala.
Yeah. Sibona bonile manje ukuthi ubhalabhalile manje sikotshela inyanga yabantu labasha. Manje sifuna lokuyivala ngesitayela, yabona? Ngenxa ukuthi lo mnyaka sibungatha iminyaka lengu50 lusha la nga1976 ladlula emhlabeni ngakhona. Bafuna sibe nenkululeko noma sibe nelikusasa leliqhakatile nema tools langcono. Manje ngithe mangisahleli ngibuka ngathi no, instead ukuthi ngabe senda tindvo letinye asisivale ngesitayela ukuthi bantu labasha abasebafunze babe mhlambe nelikusasa lelingcono ngoba mhlambe lemunye uhlele endlini nje mhlambe lithuba lebhala unalo nethi kusi akakapay attention kulo angeke akhona. Manje namhla ngifuna siyibuke lesikhashana sehle sikhona siyibuke kabandi lenzaba ukuthi mhlawumbe kule minyaka yakho loyibhalile kulelibhuku mhlawumbe khona umuntu naye lengathola lusito kulo, yabona? Manje asisicale la ukuthi le topic noma le title lelibhuku lolibhalile belichaza kuthini?
Basically the years of shape me is a life story. It is my life story. So this is not just a fiction. This is about lived experiences. This is about the story of a man that is actually sitting before you. However, in this book, I take readers through my childhood experience, growing up in difficult circumstances, facing a lot of hard times, loss, being rejected, as well as poverty, and many emotional struggles that I had to endure. So as you see, but the positive side of this book is that it is not just a depressing story about pain, but it is about how every difficult experiences actually became a lesson that shaped my character. So throughout this book, so readers meet ordinary people. These are people that I met in my life. These are people that helped me. These are people, some I wasn't even related to. So through all that, I learned a lot. Hence, then the title of the book is The Years That Shaped Me, meaning that I look at these years in a positive light, not only on a negative light, because these years, they made who I am. They shaped the person that I am and the person that I actually show up in the world to be this day.
Umbuto wami singakasuki kule question kuwo onke ema question noma ema title la khona lo ngawacabanga wafika kanjani ku conclusion ukuthi le minyaka liyangiqeqesha noma le minyaka liyangilola?
Okay, I think I did experiment with a lot of titles, but if I look at myself, then I look at who I am and what makes my character. So I like I say, utingibuka leminyaka as iminyaka eyang shape rather than the years that destroyed me. You know, they say victim becomes victimizers, but I realized that I don't really have to be a victimizer. Rather, I can look at these years in a positive light. Njengokuthi leminyaka le iminyaka eyangenza mina ukuthi ngiyimina. Obviously, in the context of being a positive person, being a light in the world, that is constantly plagued with darkness. In a way that you find people who grow up through tough times and they become the meanest people ever, but in my case, I see this as a positive. I see these years as positive years that shaped me, that shaped the person that I am. That's why then ngithi le iminyaka eyangikhanda or iminyaka eyenza mina ukuthi ngibe kanje. So it is in that context or light that I decided to title this book, because remember, I'm not writing this book to get back to the people that actually harmed me or treated me badly, but it is also to let the world know, especially those who are actually going through these times, to say, listen, you can take these years and make the best of them. Like one of my favorite authors, Jan Mattel, I'm sure you are familiar with him, who says you have to take life the way it comes at you and make the best of it. Yes, which is why.
So, because you most of the book mhlambe singasho ukuthi soliphendulile masingathi siyabuka, which part of the book stood out the best kuwe?
Okay, I think if you look at chapter 1 of my book, it's subtitled A Stranger Called Mama. So in a way, this it talks about abandonment, basically. Growing up, being 5 years old. In a way, that's where I realized, at the age of 5, I realized that my mom is not here. The only people around me are my grandparents. And then, all of a sudden, this stranger comes up and she says, she shows up out of nowhere and she says, listen, I'm going to take you tomorrow. We're going away and I'll buy you nice clothes. Obviously, I don't know this person, never seen this person. And later I learned that night at age 5, this was actually my mother. So what she does then, she takes me from my grandparents' house. Yes. Then we go. Obviously, there's excitement, but then also you don't know what to expect, right? Because you don't know, this is a mother you just met, a mother that shows up.
Random person.
Yeah, and who comes and they say, and ugogo knowing her, because she's a child. So she knew her, she knew that this was not going to end well, in a way. But then she had to let me go. Same day or same evening, then I'm dropped to another man that I don't know, I've never met. She says, this is my brother's son, he's happy. So that's basically, this allows me, so writing that chapter really is the very first chapter. It allowed me to actually relive that experience and actually get to appreciate my grandmothers, because now that I'm old, I'm able to go back and see love and all that and see how that was taken away from me to a far worse situation. Because as the book continues and it deals with other childhood traumas and experiences that the child children actually gone through. Yeah.
Mhlambe duke umuntu lo ngathi uyaqala kubamba libhuku lo safuna kufundza libhuku, what is the message lo ngamniketa yona ukuthi gijima uyolithenga leli bhuku manje?
As much as the book actually is open to be read by anyone, especially let's talk about parents, right? Or let's talk about the audience, or the primary audience, which is the youth that is actually going through these tough circumstances. Yeah, I know that we have different stories, right? We have different childhood experiences. Other people are growing up, there's mother, there's father, everything is good, right? But it doesn't mean that they don't have issues, right? So if you are in that situation where you have everybody is there, and then you come across my story, you get to appreciate what you have, because not everyone has what you have, so you get to appreciate. But if you're somebody who goes through these circumstances, of which I know that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of children, I've met a lot. I've actually met a lot of people or youth who are actually gone through, or some who have gone through, some are in the street. And if maybe you come across my story and then you realize that, okay, if this guy was able to do this with his story, then I can also turn my life around. Okay, so basically the message that I can actually give to these people who are perceived readers is that they understand that difficult seasons don't last forever, as well as that their circumstances don't have to shape who they are, regardless of whatever circumstance a person goes through. So basically, here I'm saying every challenge is basically teaching us something valuable. So that's why we should embrace our life experiences. We should embrace our challenges, and we should be open to learning from these experiences, and it should make us to be better people rather than victimizers, going around victimizing other people just because you didn't grow up in a right way. So that just doesn't give anybody excuse. You can use this in a positive light and let it shape you like it shaped me. So yeah.
Who do you think will benefit? Noma mhlambe singasho ukuthi lo mbuto uphendulile in a sense yokuthi yafika imibuto bengibekile seyivele iphendulekile lenye.
Maybe I talk a lot there.
Mhlambe ngilokuthi angeke sisathi ngoba vele imibuto leminyenti singasho ukuthi uyiphendulile. Kubuta ngabe ngiphi le character noma idea longathi urelate kuyo the most even in this current date?
It has to be a book that I'm currently teaching my learners now, but then they don't know because, all they see is the finished product. I taught you, but it's the first time you hear this because you are not asking the right questions. Nah? No, I'm not blaming you there, but there's a book called taught you know the book that you did it in high school. The book is about, even though the book is set during the apartheid era, but that character there, hopefully that's what you are asking. That character there, I think I relate with him. His struggles, abandonment, growing up without parents. I live from basically house to house, just like he goes through the street. And I mean, you know how the story ends, but I think I relate. And having to deal with such books sometimes, it does actually remind me. But all this really keeps me grounded. So basically, that's the character I think I can relate with. Hopefully, that's what you were asking. I'm not just hallucinating.
Before we wrap up the conversation, Mhlambe, the lessons you have taken from the book, Noma, from the scenes that you have encountered in life, which one do you take away from reading it?
Okay, looking at my life, because like I said, that life is basically a representation of who I am and all those things that I basically went through. I do actually go through a number of lessons that a reader can learn from that. Especially this is directed to people who are actually going through these circumstances. Learning to be grateful, I think, is very first thing. If you are grateful, it means you are thankful for whatever little help that you get from whoever. If you are grateful, it means that even your behavior and the way that you receive that help will matter. For an example, a lot of people have met good people in their lives, especially youth that is actually still growing up, children that are still in primary school, high school. But then they lack gratitude. Because they lack gratitude, now you start comparing yourself with these other person's children. You say, but they do this for them, they don't do this for me. That's basically you lacking gratitude. I think all you should be doing is taking whatever help that you can take and actually be moving forward. So it's gratitude and not comparing yourself basically with other people, and knowing that everybody has a struggle. So it doesn't help to actually compare the struggles, but we can actually learn from these situations. Yeah.
Summarizing the book in a sentence or two, how would you summarize it?
This is a book about resilience. This is a book about hope. This is a book about overcoming challenges and letting these hard times to shape you. I think I was generous that I gave you more than what you asked for.
Rate out of 10. As we close off the conversation, a rate out of 10. How much would you give it?
The book?
Yeah.
It has to be 10 out of 10 because it's one of my work that I'm really proud of. I know that one day somebody will find it, or the people who have found it will actually learn from it.
So, since siyeva ukuthi kuneminyaka lekungathi ikulolile, are we expecting something else, or are you still cooking it?
I've cooked, bro.
Oh, the pot is already ready.
There's another book that I really don't talk much about because it shares basically the experiences that I've went through now. I think when I came back from China from 2021 up until now. Yeah. So that book is about Against the Current. That's basically another work that is out there, but I just park it there. I'll basically make it available as time goes on. Yeah.
Siyabonga masobe shisho cha nethi ukuthi asisho ukuthi balingani bami siyabatselela noma kanjani, but siyabathanza nethi ukuthi vele angeke siyakhona kuyichaza lenzaba. Siyabonga Mr. kuba nawe namhlehlelweni sivakashile nguwe. Siyabona ukuthi cha libhuku libuka limnanzi, umlaleli makalifuna utalithola kanjani?
You can buy it directly from me. You can find me from 062-626-7394, or you can just go to Amazon and you can just buy the book there. It will be delivered to you. Okay.
Ngicela ungiphinzele inombolo ukuthi nalo elongakeva mhlambe bekasa busy afuna iballpen yekubhalela angiphinzele yona kahle akhona kuyibhala mhlambe lo chapter 1 nje umdonsile wathi hayi sengiyalifuna leli bhuku mina kuliva kahle kulifunza kahle kahle ukuthi ngabe kuthiwani uthini lo bot.
Okay, I'll just drop two numbers, né? The first one is 062-626-7394 and the second one is 071-596-3752. You can also find me on WhatsApp. Yeah.
Uthi vele mlaleli number setakho mawu interested soda ungena nje ku WhatsApp ngendlela yakhona utamthola noma bangagijima bayikhasi labo le Facebook batakhanza mos.
Facebook?
Yeah.
No, I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah, ndawenda njalo noma utawufona ngendlela yakhona mara nawo ufone nje ngetikhathi letibukabukekile ngoba nga7 to 2 ubhizi le ndoda utayifonela nje kahle noma uyishili WhatsApp bese itawubuya kuwe yende nje ngendlela yakhona. Yeah, akunankinga but siyabonga kuba nawe namhlehlelweni asidibane ngalokutako.
Bonga mina mfowethu. Ngibonga nakubalaleli.
Nguye Mr. Busiswa Ntsibande.